Yeah. We're at that 60-second mark and counting. Go ahead. Let us know where you're tuning in from, man. Welcome to the morning show at Talk That Tech. Trey and Jay here. Start your day. Come on now. All right. 30 seconds in, and here we go. Go ahead and hit that like before we start in a few. In 3, 2, and we are live. Good morning, and welcome to another edition of Talk That Tech, the morning show. Go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe if you have not already. Thank y'all for already tuning in with us, man. We got Scott. Morning, family. Peace and blessings to you brothers in the chat. It's myself and Tech Back Trey here. So thank you so much for doing that as well. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. We got Kentucky in the building. Fabulous. Congratulations. Thank you so much for, I don't know why I said congratulations, but thank you. Maybe guys, because you got good food over there. I don't know.
I've never been to Kentucky. I don't know either.
Yeah. Hey, Kentucky. I heard your barbecue. Y'all fighting with Memphis on y'all when it comes to y'all barbecue. So I ain't mad with y'all. Gotta love that intro music. I mean, hey man, I guess going
It's a bop, ain't it?
Yeah,
hey,
man.
That music is a bop in the morning, man.
Yeah,
I was
man.
back here. I was backstage. I was going in. I was like, oh yeah, this is about to be a great morning right here.
It's about to be a wonderful morning. We got our Darcel. Good morning, brother. Living in Georgia. Yes, my brother, our brethren. Mitch, thank you. But go ahead.
You no, I was just no. We good.
We good.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Good morning, Mitch. Good morning.
Good morning. I gotta give up. Embark on Brilliance podcast, Dallas, Texas.
Hey, good morning.
DFW, right? That's what it is. The DFW area.
Yeah, that's DFW. Yeah, they speaking my language.
It's got to just hit us with the Anthony Hamilton snippet. Oh man, what's that song for Anthony Hamilton that back in the day everybody used to love? It's simple, dude. I love it. I don't know if we get more strikes for singing songs, so I'm gonna stop. I don't want to get in trouble.
I think you gotta sound just like him. I think you gotta have the beat too, man. You good.
Scott said we gotta come for the Kentucky Derby. All right, Kentucky Derby.
Hey, you know what? That sound pretty good, man. I think I can get dressed up for that. Do I have to have on the seersucker suits? You know, the hat with the straight brim,
the pinstripe, right?
Could I pull that off? I don't know. See, I'm that dude, Joseph. Unfortunately, man, I'm there. I don't know none of the etiquette. I'm here to dress up, man. I'm messing up everything.
I'm not mad at you, man. I think that you know I'm taking lessons from you when it comes to this.
Like, hey, man, that'd be like, who let this man in here, man?
Who let that dogs out? Right? Who let this guy into this building? I mean, that'd probably two of us. I'd be like, hey, man, I'm just here. I'm here to enjoy the horses and stuff. We got Brandon from North Carolina. All right. What's up, North Carolina? Are you originally from North Carolina, or you moved down there? Because all I hear from people that are complaining about North Carolina is people moving down there, taking up, making prices rise up. So if you're originally from North Carolina, let me know in the chat. Home of J. Cole. J. Cole has been on a tear, man. Just like any feature he's been on has been
on the court now, man. He's on the court too.
Yes, he's shooting his shot. He's shooting his shot. Oh man, and then he said, Trey, it don't matter. I know you'd be fly regardless, bro. That is the truth, man. Well, let me say something before we get really deep into the show. Thank you guys for commenting. Go ahead and like. But I'm also going to ask one thing. I'm going to ask you guys to share this with others so that they know about this morning show and that they could be able to tune in with us, man, and have a good time. So Trey, man, how was your
Yeah,
weekend? Let's just start there, and I have a question after that.
yeah, for sure, man. I mean, the weekend was great, bro. I had the goddaughter this weekend, so it was eventful. Luckily, the week didn't start off as good. So, I
Mm,
mean, I'll say it ended way better based on how it started, man. Earlier in my week, I had a crazy toothache, man. I tried well, I shouldn't say try. I've had it before, but Chipotle, they brought back the carne asada,
mm,
and I'm like, hey, let me get this real quick.
yeah.
I'm not saying that it was tough because it was good, but it did something to my tooth, and it was like it was already like, hey, you know what? You need to go to the dentist. But then after I ate that, it was like, all right, it's a wrap.
Ooh.
Get your butt to the dentist, man. And so I had to get an appointment, all that stuff. Come and find out, man, I needed two root
Woo!
canals. Yeah, so got those taken
Ah.
care of. Yeah, got those taken care of, man. But I was out of there for a few days, man. But
Ooh.
on into the weekend, the
Mm.
pain is gone. The face is back. And so yeah, it was good. We enjoyed it. We had went yesterday, ended up taking her to fair out of the city. It was like an hour and a half away, but it was real fun, man. Enjoyed it, had a good time. And now back at it on a Monday.
On a Monday, man. You
Yeah, how
probably
was yours,
singing.
bro?
You probably singing. I can see clearly now. The pain is gone. Oh my
Yo,
goodness.
you just don't know, man. I'm talking about woke me up at 3:30 in the morning.
Whew.
I'm like, you waking me up at the witching hour, man? I was out of there, bro.
Oh
But I'm
man.
good now.
Man, for me, it was one of those weekends where it's like chores, 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 like just laundry, trying to get the crowd, the kids to do stuff. So for me, it wasn't
Hmm.
as eventful as they would say. We did go out yesterday to celebrate my wife's future boss's, oh, actually current boss, really. 'Cause she's doing an internship, but her boss is her birthday. But besides
Ah,
that, it was very uneventful, very uneventful. Just the usual. I
hey,
mean, how many people? Yeah, say it again.
no, I was saying sometimes you need that, man. You gotta get caught up on the stuff.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And man, sometimes you just got like you have your job and then you have your job at home, and you got to make sure that you're taking care of both sides of the ball
Fact.
when they say that. And speaking of jobs, I got a question for not just ourselves, but I got a question for the audience. What was your first job? Anybody know off the top of their head, like what was their first job?
Type that in the chat. Type that in the chat. I'm trying to see.
Yeah,
I
put
want to
that in
know.
the chat. We,
Yeah.
we we talked about this briefly. You had, I think, a more glamorous job compared to me. But my first job, I remember, and I could be wrong. It may be something that happened earlier than that. But my first, like, here's your check job that I can remember was when I was working maintenance at the church. Just straight up just cleaning toilets and vomit and whatever happened happened. We call ourselves the green squad. We had green shirts and we
Golly.
had our khaki pants or whatever pants, and we just came out there and we cleaned up. And this was a pretty big church, so there's a lot of messes and a lot of things that need to be taken care of. But it was good. It was good. It was good as a first job. Just had learning,
Yeah.
different things. And what about yourself, man?
Yeah, man. Look, you were building that character for sure.
For sure.
Having to clean up the stuff around the toilet. You
Wax
know,
on, wax
sometimes
off.
exactly. Yeah. Character, man. But my first job, I don't know if it's everywhere, so I'm not gonna speak to it as it is, but my first job it was Hurricane Harbor, and that
Mm,
was basically it's a water park that's connected with Six Flags, and so yeah, it was actually a cushy one, if I must say. Here in Texas, the summer months it gets spicy, but
ooh,
I was blessed, man. I was in the front gate, so basically, when you come into the spot, you got to pay your money. You was paying it to me. I was one of them. But anyways, I was inside of a little box, a little house. It had the AC unit in there, had it on 65 as low as it could go. So I'm in there freezing with a jacket on, man, every day. in the summertime, and people walking up sweating because they've been in a line for I don't know how long, giving me their money, got their head all in the little window so that they can get some of
Huh?
the air. I'm like, get your butt back, man. Get out my window and give me that cash.
Acting like they're trying to hear you. Like, what you say? What you say? Oh,
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. I'm like, get away from my air. But no, man, it was good though. I actually enjoyed it. Hey, I was young, man. There's a lot of pretty women there, but I didn't get to see them all because I was in that box in the front
you were in
at
the
the time.
front.
But either way, that was my first job, man. Hurricane Harbor. Really fun, really
You had a
fun.
window view, but you couldn't get a chance to like
That's
get
it.
out there. Well, listen,
Yeah,
man,
no.
that's not a bad thing if you think about it, because you were exposed to the sun like they were. They were like
Nah.
bacon grease coming
Exactly.
out of there.
Yeah,
Like,
man. I mean, I had some teammates out there. They out there sweeping, and picking up trash and stuff out in the actual water park. Mm, I'm talking about
mm,
fried chicken, man.
fried
Barbecue
chicken,
chicken. Yeah.
natural gravy, just the natural gravy just falling off the. They're like, oh my gosh, I can't. Oh man! And so with that being said, let's go to the comment section here. So I see somebody said high low driver. That was your first job, high low driver. Yeah, you gotta explain that to me because I'm not too sure familiar with that
Me
phrase.
either.
So please put it in the chat unless it's something that could incriminate you later, then don't do it. But if it is something that if you're like, nah, this is what it is, let me know. Let's know in the chat. We have somebody says a dishwasher at my uncle's restaurant. Oh yeah, we know about working for the family, family business. Yeah, family
Hey, man.
business.
Exactly. We get this business work in.
Yeah,
You ain't
man.
getting paid. I get you some Jordans, man, but you ain't getting no. No, I'm
Yeah,
playing.
yeah. Oh, you want Chris? You want this for Christmas? Come on in and work. And then yeah, Tyler was laughing at that before what you said. Scott says stock boy at Save a Lot Grocery, paid, non-paid was construction with my father. That's
I
a
know
good
about that
point.
Save a Lot.
Yeah. And yeah, working for the family business. I we definitely know about that for sure. And so what we're going to talk about today is something that is very I would say uh oh, I got one more. Got Mitch coming in hot. He said the blocker at the grocery store at my job literally was to make the item straight on the shelf. Wow. I
Interesting.
didn't interesting. Yeah, that's your only job? I'm like, whoa. They
Make
how much
things
do they
look
pay?
presentable.
Yeah, I mean that is important if you think about it.
It
Otherwise,
is.
people be like, "Man, I want to shop here. Y'all
Yeah.
stuff is all messed up. I don't want to do any of that." So I definitely get it for sure. In regards to what we're going to talk about is we're going to talk about exposure today, family. We're going to get right into it. Talk about exposure today, and the question I want to ask you is, wait, he said he hated that job.
Look, and then you got people coming in. They definitely let me pick this up real quick. No,
I
I
don't
don't
want
want that. No. Put it in the wrong spot, turned around. Now you gotta come back and yeah, I feel you on that. I
Oh
see it
man,
sometimes.
that reminds me of I don't know why this came back with Cat Williams beginning. Every day I'm hustling. He's putting the stuff on the shelf. I don't know why
Yeah,
that gave
man.
me that imagery just now. Like every day I'm hustling, hustling. Oh, that was a
Boy,
good one.
getting it back up there.
Yeah, man.
That's
Exactly,
hilarious.
Trey. He's like that was like the worst. That was the worst. I feel you, man. I feel you. And we by having your first job, you were exposed to a lot of things that you probably weren't privy to before. And one of the things I want, and that's what we want to talk about today is exposure, the good, bad, and the ugly of it, right? Right, Trey?
Yeah, man.
And man, we had a conversation yesterday that I thought was really good, and we're gonna pretty much try to reenact that and pick up from there. But the question I wanted to ask in regards to we talk about your first job, but let's ask this next one here, which is, what were you exposed to growing up? What were you exposed to growing up? And that could be a tricky answer because some things you were exposed to are great, and then some things you were exposed to were not so great. But hey,
Yeah.
Trey, I'm gonna pass it to you. Like, what were you exposed to growing up?
Yeah, man. I mean, personally, I mean, I guess I could take this any route, but just to keep it short, I mean, I grew up like middle of the road, right? You know, weren't poor but wasn't rich,
Mm,
right? So definitely didn't get the free lunch, but then my parents wasn't giving me like a boatload of money to actually have you know, to be able to buy the lunch at school. But nonetheless, though, the area I grew up in, man, I was exposed to a few things, right? Like I said, I think I mentioned it on here before. I grew up like hood adjacent. Okay, so I was there, but I wasn't deep in there. Like I wasn't doing none of the gang activity, none of that stuff, right? But I saw it. I saw it every day. But what it based on the person that I wanted to be, it just taught me how to navigate certain situations, right? Like,
Yeah.
hey man, you know, this person is acting a certain type of way. You might need to, hey, let me come to you direct. Let me not be, you know, so being exposed to certain types of people and things like that, it taught me how to read people. Like, you know, like, hey,
Yeah.
you gotta be quick. Hey, I need to know you walking a little interesting. Let me get to this side. Let me keep my space and my eyes open. Things like that. That's on that side. But I mean, as far as like living and things like that, man, I mean, I wasn't if we're talking about like flying and stuff, right? Like I didn't get on an airplane until I had graduated high school. One of my uncles who lived in Maryland, or he still lives up there, but Baltimore, he flew me out, man, and that was my first time like experiencing like flying on an airplane, going to like another state that wasn't like, you know, if you live in Texas and DFW, Oklahoma is like an hour and a half away, or you know, it's like right there. So I had been to
Yeah.
Oklahoma, but outside of that, I really hadn't been anywhere. So just really getting on that flight and then getting down in Baltimore and literally just seeing a whole nother state, and then like they really exposed me to a lot more than they realized, because I mean
Mm.
that's the rich uncle, right? So,
Yeah.
you know, hey, you get straight off the plane, they greet me at the car. I don't even get my bags home, right? My aunt, she basically drops us off at the Orioles game, and then she takes my bag back to their home. We go we go down to the first base line. Like I'm talking about all
Wow.
the way down at the bottom. We right there. So it was just a like I've been no, at that time I hadn't been to any Rangers games here in Dallas, right? So that was my first baseball game, played baseball growing up. So I loved it. But just I mean that whole experience, right? It really opened up things to me like, yo, if you do some things right, doesn't even necessarily have to be everything.
Yeah.
Hey, these are some things that you can experience. This is some of the things that you can do, right? This is stuff they did
Wow.
all the time, but
Oh
I
wow.
was exposed to it. I was, you know, it gave me that little opening to that type of life, man. And it was, yeah, it was definitely an experience. So, I mean, that was another point that I could, I guess, bring up right there.
Yeah, man. That was a lot. Before we continue, man, get the likes up, y'all. If y'all loving what you're
Yeah,
hearing, we're about to get into this. So this is gonna get a little deep. You might laugh, you might cry. We don't know. But but definitely get the likes up and share this with somebody who like, man, I think they'll like this conversation. I think that they'll like this conversation, even if they're not awake right now. They might be catching it later on. Go ahead and share with them before we get deeper into this. But yeah, in regards to exposure, man, like it you don't know what you don't know until you know what you don't know. And I
that's it.
think that I just think about my life, man. I grew up in New York, you know. I was living in Queens for a while and I went to a very diverse church, diverse school where I
Yeah,
was living. And then my parents and we moved to Brooklyn. And just you know, I wouldn't think I was too like, you know, like it was too of a shell shock at the moment. But I remember being 7 years old and moving from where we were in Queens, probably like a middle, quote unquote, middle class, upper middle class. Like it was a mixture of that middle class sort of area to a place, you know, Brownsville. If you know Brownsville, 3 train, that's where Mike Tyson grew up and stuff like that. 3 trains to
mm.
Rockaway Avenue. If you know New York, you know New York, right?
He said he was
Um,
fighting every day. That's all I know.
yeah. So, but it was a totally different experience, and so, but here's the thing, my mother, and I'm gonna put up this comment right now from Tyler because I thought it was very important before I continue talking. He said, "I learned what hard work ethic is from my mom. Her being a single mother, she made sure me and my sisters were straight. And I'm blessed she instilled that work ethic in me so now I can use that to get into tech sales. Fantastic,
Yeah,
man. Love it, love it, love it,
yeah.
love it. Actually, I can throw one
That's
more in
right.
before I continue the conversation because he said that Darcellus is from Detroit and moved to Georgia, was exposed to family strength. We stick together and have frequent family meetings. Love that. Family meetings, man. No matter how our environment was, we could always come together and be happy in our family unit. Two parents, five kids. And that's
Yo,
a
that's
very important thing
special.
because you
Special.
talked about it too. You talked about how your family exposed you, your family in Maryland, they exposed you to everything out there. And that's the same thing true with my family. My mother really made it a point to be like to really try to put me in places that were diverse. I think probably from the first grade all the way up to probably the seventh or eighth grade. That was her goal. So even though I lived in Brooklyn, I literally took at 7 years old 3 buses to get back to Queens, an hour's trip to make sure that I stayed in a school that was diverse, so that I could
Yo,
be exposed to different type of people. I mean, like we took road trips to Florida. I went to bar mitzvahs. I stayed among people that were Mennonites, which is like close to the Amish community in Pennsylvania. Like we had a huge amount of different experiences. Being in New York allows you to do a lot of those different things too. So
yeah,
again, living in the hood, living in Brownsville, and later living in East New York, right? 3 train, not too far from the pink houses. If y'all know pink houses, y'all know. But she, even in all that environment that I was surrounded by, she tried to make sure that I went to have, and I told you this experience too. We went to the Plaza Hotel when I was young, famous one from Home Alone 2, where he got lost in that hotel, and we had tea there. And it was just a whole mindset was I
yeah,
need to expose my son to a different way of living, a different life. I went to not too far from the Plaza Hotel. I went to a private school for about a couple years. I got a scholarship there, and that exposed me to a lot. Like you talking about, we're walking to the Met, and we're going to the Met multiple times throughout the year, like it's normal, like a class trip, and you get exposed to different types of living that makes you realize, hey, there's a lot more out there. There's a lot more out there. I was talking to somebody, and then we're going to go back to the line here, but I was talking to somebody, and they were basically like, man, I never even could have saw myself living in a house until I had a
mm,
conversation with my spouse about it, and then my spouse exposed me to it, and then I was like, man, that is a possibility because all I
yo,
knew was apartments. All I knew
yo,
was renting. I never knew about ownership. And so these are conversations I think that that need to be had because
yeah, man.
the more that we're exposed to, the more that we realize it's out there.
That's how it works, bro. Like
Yeah.
literally, that's how it works. When you say exposure leads to expansion, like
Yeah.
literally the things that you're exposed to, it's going to like you can't unsee things, good and bad, right?
Yeah.
Good and bad. You can't unsee it. So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, when you like something might you never know, man. That's why even myself, I don't know. It was just something that like I love being around little kids and talking to them. Like literally, they have interesting things to say too, even though sometimes it's about almost nothing, right? But you never like in my mind, I
Yeah.
never wanted to be that guy because you never know like what a kid thinks about you or how they look at you.
Yeah.
And just that one little conversation, man, or taking that time out to speak with them, you don't know how that can change things, right? Like
Mm.
even going to games, like for me,
Yeah.
I make it a point. Like if a kid is willing to tell me, like, hey, I got a game or I have an event, and that means they want me to come. I don't know what
Mm.
that does, but I'm showing up, right?
Yeah.
I'm showing up and just being there, man. That's because you just never know, man. The more that they can get out and see, like, oh wow, uh, they have this, or like, man, like you said, I didn't even know having a home was a possibility, but
Yeah.
seeing it and seeing them in their environment, man, I think I could do that too. And then
Mm.
that leads them on a certain journey, man, that can open that up for them. So yeah, it definitely is important. If you stay around it long enough, you become
Yeah.
it. So that's one of the things we gotta make sure that we're becoming the right things.
Yeah,
Mhm.
man, that's true. Either we could be exposed for the better or the worse. And I
Exactly.
appreciate you, Omar. I'm pleased to pronounce this wrong. Marquise. I appreciate you for
Marquez, yeah, Marquise.
Yeah, I appreciate you for saying you love the topic. We definitely want to dive into this one today. And Scott says similar to Trey, but I was around a lot of gang and D-boy activity. Spent some time in South Ozone, Jamaica, Queens with my aunt. And I was actually from Jamaica, Queens, right there, Onslow Park by if you are familiar with it, it's Crossway Boulevard, right over there by across from Seatown. That's where that's where I was, and believe it or not, the school not too far from me was very very diverse. But yeah, South Ozone, Jamaica, Queens, yeah, definitely a lot going on over there. Unfortunately, some things that are not too good. But that leads us to a next question, which is what things were you exposed to that changed your outlook on life? What are the good things that you were exposed to, and what were the not so good things you were exposed to? And let's be honest, some things that we're exposed to in life, we probably wish that we weren't exposed to them, right?
Yeah.
And but right now, what we're gonna do is I'm gonna pass it to my brother Trey, and we're gonna switch it up here and talk about the benefits of basically the benefits of exposure, because even though some things could be negative, they could be turned around for good. And he had a great story to talk about this. So I'm gonna pass the rock to him.
Hey, ooh, no look past 360 slam dunk. What's up? Nah. Yeah, no, like you said, it can, you have negative things, but that it's possible to turn it around. And a story that I found was, if y'all aren't familiar with it, is the story about penicillin, right?
Mm,
Of all things. But basically, this guy named Sir Alexander Fleming, he discovered penicillin, but it was on accident. It
mm,
says in 1928 he was working at St. Mary's Hospital in London, and he came across penicillin literally by accident. It says before he was about to leave for his 2-week vacation. This is very important, y'all. Before he was about to leave on his 2-week vacation, he left a stack of dirty petri dishes in his workspace. When he
mm,
got back, he noticed that most of the cultures had grown over with bacteria. Now, one dish was different. One of them was different, and he basically the bacteria that surrounded the mold, it was actually Penicillium noctatum. It was penicillin, y'all.
mm,
And basically, he realized that potential discovery, and he started testing it, and then he found that mold juice was capable of killing a bunch of different other bacteria, and that eventually led to the creation of penicillin. And I mean, what was crazier, I could go on, but that's the basics of it, y'all. But what was crazy about that story? Two things. I mean, if he was a person who, when it was about to go on vacation and he cleaned everything up, he would have never saw it. He would
yeah,
have never found it. Not saying that, hey, you need to be dirty, right? I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is, like, you never, like, easily him throwing that to the side for his assistant. Hey, make sure you clean that up before I get back.
yeah,
Or anything like that, it would have never been found, or it could have just been found who knows how long later. But then two, when he got back, he could have easily saw those dishes and was like, yo, that's nasty.
yeah,
Scoop, dump, trash, or just literally dumped all of them and trashed it. Instead, he was curious. Like, man,
mm,
I've never seen that. Let me go ahead and test this. Let me see what this is about. And
yeah,
then boom, you look at that, and years later, thousand like actually I think it was one of the most like what was it? Like this is the first antibiotic.
uh,
Literally that on accident turned into, so being exposed to that on accident turned into the first antibiotic, and it's helped I don't know how, like, countless numbers of people. And so
wow,
just literally, when you think about that, it's like, yo, it was a negative thing. That was nasty. Like, you could have easily just trashed it, not thought about twice about it, but it turned into the first antibiotic, man. And who
mm,
knows like how many came after that just went ahead and helped everybody. So it's
yeah.
crazy.
No, it is crazy. It is crazy when you think about it, because sometimes something that we're exposed to can actually work in our favor. And
Yeah.
this is a question for the audience. In what ways has exposure benefited you or someone you know? Whether they've been exposed to a certain job, lifestyle, whether being exposed to a certain mindset. Maybe they went through counseling that exposed them to parts of themselves, or it could be even yourself. Like, what is something that you were exposed to that benefited you? It kind of hurt in the initial, but it benefited you later. And actually, I'm going to go to the comment section because Marquis said, I didn't think that you could be wealthy if you weren't involved in some type of illegal activity.
Yo, that's a big one, man.
That's
Like, that's
true.
so huge. That's so
Hmm.
huge.
Very huge.
Like Joe,
Or if you're an
Joe,
athlete, or if you're an athlete, you know
yeah,
what I mean? Basketball,
yeah, bro.
football.
And that's, man, that's huge. I mean, it goes back for me personally, that's a personal thing for me, man. Like I wanted to be able to, when I pass by, it doesn't matter what the car is, but
Yeah.
when I'm in that car, I didn't want that to be the thought, right? Because that's what you see growing up.
Yeah.
Yo, hey man, only the drug dealers got those cars. Only
Mm,
the drug dealers are able to, um, wear those type of clothes or go to all the places. It's like, no, man, you don't have to be just an athlete. You don't have to be just into illegal activity to be able to have those things. And personally, I just believe that a lot of kids, the reason they aspire to be those things is because that's what they see. Like, yo,
mm.
if
Yeah.
the stuff that I want or the stuff that I like, I only see it on rappers, I only see it on athletes, I only see it on the drug dealers, entertainers, maybe. Uh, hey, I hear you on this stuff right here, but I'm about to go do that.
Yeah. Mm,
And then it just deduces down to, yo, what's easier? Like, I might be 5'2", can't be an athlete in most spots.
y-
You probably can, but not in most. Okay, let's X that out. Uh,
yeah.
uh, I can't sing. I'm or all this different things, and then
Can't
it
be an
boils down
entertainer.
to, hey, let me go ahead and get in this illegal activity. And so,
Hmm.
for me, that's a big one. When I brought up the kids earlier, bro, like that's a reason why I stopped and like, yo, hey, I need to go to this game. I need to be active so that we can see something different. You know what I mean? Just
Yeah.
to see something different.
Mm. Yeah. And I and Marquise agrees, like facts. It's so true because it really is. And here's the thing too. Like, I'm going to bring up this comment here because I think it's so true. Like Tyler said, Army has exposed me to never take anything for granted. Control what you can control, and just enjoy the little things in life, like family and friends. That is such an
Mm,
important thing. Contentment is such an important thing, as well, because you could be exposed to something, and in regards to the Army, where there's discipline, where there you really don't control a lot. you
yeah.
you have to do what they basically tell you to do, and but at the same time it teaches you so much in regards to that, like he said, valuing those things that you can't control, and valuing those things that are just like those intangibles, the love that you have with your family, and just life, and yeah, really good comment. Mitch said, I used to want to be a rapper because I thought they had money. Ah, I hear you, but that's what you exposed to on the media. That's what they show you. They're
Exactly.
like, look at this lifestyle. They're selling you a
Yeah.
lifestyle. And you're like, man, I want to be that. So let me do X, Y, and Z to get there. Man, it's tough. He's like, oh, he said I was tough though. I get it. He's
No,
like, I
that's
was
real.
young.
Yeah. No, that's real. And then you find out later on, right? You're like, oh wait, the company is getting all that cash. They're not getting much, or only a few of them at the top there had it. And
Yeah.
so yeah, you kind of switch it up. But yeah, that's the thing though. Sometimes you never really get out of it, and so that's why it's
Mm,
important. Like, the kids are important, man. They're important. Like you
yeah.
said, you were 12, but sometimes at 12, you got today at 12, kids are making decisions that change the rest of their life.
Hmm.
Got to get them young.
We talked about that last week.
We
Or
did.
was it the week? Yeah, we talked about that last week
Yeah.
about just one decision, and somebody is basically facing 20 something years in prison for one decision.
Yeah,
And
man.
so that's why it's a good to be exposed to the right things early on, so that it literally
Yes.
sets you on that trajectory of like, listen, I got blinders on. I ain't seeing what you talking about because I was
Like,
exposed
I
to
hear
this.
you,
I'm trying to get to that now, you know.
bro.
And you know what we want to do is we want to introduce this new kind of series. What we call, it's called Bag Talk, right? Bag Talk is basically where Trey or myself, but really Trey, will come out. Nah, I'm just kidding. It's a collaborative effort, but uh, what we do is we want to come out with some like valuable, like sort of tidbits that you could take away and kind of run with them when you're going throughout your day, or even share it with somebody else about ways that you could improve. So, back talk, what we're going to do today is talk about 3 ways you can grow from exposure, right? What are 3 ways that you can grow from exposure? And I'm going to pass it back to Trey, and we're going to just talk about this.
Yeah. So, I mean, when you talk about growing from exposure and exposure leading to expansion of the mind, expansion of how you think, how you talk, how you walk, the places you go, all these different things. One thing I wanted to say before I brought up the few ways that can help is I read somewhere it said the brain is the only organ without a garbage disposal, right?
Mm,
So literally, once again, I said it earlier, you can't unsee things, you can't unhear things. So, but you can, oh, you know what? If I built my mind the right way, or if I'm doing things how I really like, hey, I'm in my zone, I can hear something, and then hey, I'm gonna let that go ahead out the other ear. Or I can see something, and nah, that ain't really the route I'm trying to take right there, and keep it moving. But just
yeah.
remember that, y'all, the brain is the only organ without a garbage disposal right there.
Mm,
But your environment, both physically and socially, it plays a huge role in like shaping beliefs and shaping our outlooks on life. A
yeah.
few ways that we can really kind of grow our from exposure and things like that. Number one, it says travel and culture exploration. So I'm pretty sure if you my guy Tyler, maybe Tyler, he was in the military, so a lot of times they get to travel, and sometimes that's their first time. A lot of people who go because they go so early, that's sometimes their first, like, really like it being exposed to maybe overseas, or just anything like that, another state. But when you're doing
Yeah.
that, you're able to experience different cultures, sometimes languages, and different
Yeah.
ways of life, something that we weren't, like, you might not have ever seen had you never left, right? There's what do they call it, the barbed wire, like that syndrome in California, where you got people who are literally stuck in this little small area in
Yeah.
California when it's open to them to be able to go to Beverly Hills and everywhere else, but they choose to, nah, that ain't for me. I'm good right here. When they
Yeah.
don't realize, like, hey, maybe going across the way can open something up for you, and make you realize, like, yo, yeah, I can do something different. I don't have to just sit here all day, uh, with my pants on my ankles. But anyway, uh, we got
Yeah.
number two. Well, also going to like events and things like that, y'all. That can also expose us. But number two,
Yeah.
diverse professional experiences, right?
Hmm.
So sometimes we're in a spot in a company, and we might not be able to get into tech yet, or we might not be able to, like, be able to transition over yet, or we're in the process of jumping into tech. Well, in that time frame, what are some spaces, what are some areas that you can get to your manager and be like, yo, can I get cross trained in this spot over here,
Yeah.
right? I'm interested in IT. Can I go shadow IT? If they're Excuse me, y'all, if they're a growing company, they're definitely like, they'll be like, hey, yeah, no problem, let's set you up with somebody, let's get you over there and get on that rotation so that you can go over in your free time, your breaks, or whatever. Or, like I was just about to say, or hey, even if you got my manager is tripping, take it upon yourself. You know what, I got an hour lunch, I'm gonna eat 30 minutes, I'm gonna go find somebody over there and say, like, yo, do you mind if I sit with you so I can try and learn some things and shadow you?
Mm,
Like, those
yeah.
are those initiatives, those things that can expand, that can grow your mind, that can get you out there, right? Expose you
Yeah.
to different things. And then number three, just to get out here, because I know we I want to be timely, but continuous learning and development. Y'all,
Yeah.
how many of us have ever heard, like, somebody, well, I heard it before. We graduated high school. Yo, I'm never opening a book again. I'm so happy I've graduated. I'm done.
Yeah.
That's the right. That's the wrong mindset right there. we should be learning until we die. If we're not learning, then it's dying,
Yep.
right? Because over you got to continue to put things in, be exposed, right? You got shows like this or whatever. You just got to continue to crack open those books, go to workshops, right? Get into boot camps, all these different things that can continually grow your mind, and that's gonna expand it. But that
Yeah.
also with that, it'll expose you to more things, and that's how you can get to see. Like, I'll be honest, before even in getting into tech, I wasn't exposed to that. Like, I wasn't exposed to it.
Yeah.
Why? Because if you think about like social media, it's funny. I was talking with somebody. Social media is bad. It's terrible, and I'm like, your social media is bad and terrible in my mind. Now,
Mm.
I'm a
Yeah.
professional guy, so I put it in a different way, right? I'm
Yeah.
like, yo, it shows you what you want.
The
It
algorithm
shows you
feeds
what
you.
you. That's it. So yeah, I didn't see tech stuff before I got in tech because I wasn't looking for it. But guess what? That kind of stuff pops up all the time now.
Yeah.
Like, it's only gonna show you what you want. So yeah, fella, if you're only looking at butt naked chicks, right, or whatever, then yeah, it's gonna keep showing you that because that's what you want to see on there. But
Yeah.
I guarantee if you go to a business page or two, if you go to some educational guys, some some Eric Thomas, you go to those pages, it's gonna
Absolutely.
change up. Your
Yeah.
explore page is gonna change up, and so all that stuff, man. But again, it's only gonna show you what you see, what you want to see. But again, it's gonna take exposure. It's gonna take you
Hmm.
breaking out of. If you want, like, if for things to change, you got to change,
That's right.
right?
For
For
things to
things to get
change.
better, you got to get better. That's
Yeah.
that's the only way, y'all. So, anyways,
That is.
I got to get off that soapbox because I can stay on that one forever, man. But y'all, those are just a few ways that, like, exposure and deliberately exposing ourselves to things can expand our
Yeah.
minds.
Don't get Bishop Trey started. I'm gonna call him
Boy,
Bishop Trey because
you
he's
you
like,
crazy. I don't.
he's like the perfect. Yes, 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 yes. I'm not gonna be with you long. But
Oh,
hey, man.
you're out of there. They say that.
Oh
Let
yeah,
me
you,
let me
you might
move
start
on
packing them
unless I
right
hold you
now.
too long. Oh, snap.
It's over. It's over. But let me go to the comment section before we move on because there's some good comments here. My father taught me work ethic and the value of hard work. The streets taught me in the end you can only really count on you. That is why I
Yo,
stayed on my nephew so hard. Yes, yes. Because otherwise it's going to be literally, unless we don't expose the next generation, it's just going to be an endless cycle. And Mark, he said, "Yeah,
facts.
man, bag talk, 100%, absolutely. Thank you, man. Thank you guys for supporting everybody. Thank you. I'll pause and say
Yeah,
thank you all for
appreciate y'all.
supporting. Y'all
Appreciate
really
y'all.
are ride or dies, literally every week. I appreciate y'all. Appreciate y'all." And Dave said, in hindsight, some people are fortunate to realize that way of thinking and living is a broken mirror. I love the minimal lifestyle and simply live for today. It gave me peace of mind and to know I'm not leaving a load of stuff and to stress me out.
Yo,
That's a good way of thinking, man. You want to go?
yo,
Want to say
real
something
quick,
about
real
that?
quick, real quick.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
real
yeah.
quick, bro. Because it's funny. Like, I was thinking about that same thing a little bit, right? And
Yeah.
on the people, they sometimes we get into conversations, right? We talking with a bunch of people, and they're like, "Man, you ain't never stressed or nothing." And it's like, bro, it's a choice. For one, I choose to not think about things that don't pertain to me, right? Like,
Mm,
if I'm directly affected, okay, I'm in there. Let's figure this out. Let's get it done. But outside of that, if I can't change it, I'm not stressing out. I'm sorry. It's just
mm.
gotta, like, until something changes, gotta work. But then I really wanted to speak about he said, oh, I see. He said the way of thinking and living is a broken mirror, and then
Mm.
it gives me peace of mind to know that I'm not leaving a load of stuff to stress out. But I forgot what I was about to say. I
It
did.
happens. It happens.
Yeah, it was good. Keep moving, bro. It'll come back.
Yeah, I was about to say, well, hopefully it comes back for sure. Tyler said that's true, Trey. When we got activated DC riots, I've never been to Washington D.C. and I thought that was a cool experience in itself. Tried to make the whole activation a positive one. Mm, mm. Exposure
Yeah,
is huge. Exposure is huge,
yeah,
100%.
man.
And he says same for me. That's great, and that's another question I wanted to ask you guys as well. What other ways can exposure help you grow? Like we talked about those three areas: travel. We talked about being, in different experiencing different cultures, diverse professional experiences. I know I had some diverse experiences. Continuous learning and development. Not stopping here. One thing Trey said is like, if you're not learning, you're dying. And I would agree. I would say this way is too. If you're not moving forward, you're moving backward. You're not standing still. And I think that's the illusion that we kind of think of. Oh, if I'm not reading whatever, I'm standing still. But the world is moving forward. So technically you're moving back. So we gotta keep on reading. So put
Mm-hmm.
in the chat, like, what other ways can exposure help you grow? Like, what are other methods? Maybe it's something else that we missed. We talked about continuous learning and development. Maybe there's something else that we missed. But while you put that in the comment section, I just want to remind you as well that feel free to call into the show. We actually have I know it's probably been posted there earlier, but I'm going to put it up as well, that you can basically go to the comment section, and there is a link. There is a link that you can basically click on, and you'll be able to call into the show. If you do see it, it's pinned on my channel, and your face won't be seen. You just could call in, and you could talk about the topic that we have at hand. So go ahead and click that link if you see it on my tab, or if you see it on LinkedIn as well. Just go ahead and click on that, and you could call into the show and share your thoughts with us, and be able to kind of share your opinion. But while you are doing that, I am going to go to this new segment that we have that I think you're going to enjoy as well, and we call this bad boy the Brown Box Special. Right? Is that correct? Brown
That's
box
it.
special. So, what is a brown box special? Can you explain to the family in case they have any questions of like what is a brown box special?
Yeah, brown box special, man. That's just, hey, you getting that brown box, you're getting fired, man. Just to, I guess, give more clarity. I worked at a place that literally, when, I mean, it was like 1,200 people in this building. So
Yeah,
they tried to delete people as discreet as possible. So, hey, your manager would come get you, right? And y'all would go to one of the many office buildings, right? Or offices in the building. And then
yeah,
as you and the manager were in there, the lead is literally, they have a brown box, and they are stuffing all your stuff in this brown box, like everything. I'm talking about ransacking the drawers, all that
yeah.
stuff, scooping stuff off the table, and then they're going to meet you outside in a different way, so that this is all to let you know that you were fired. But yeah, so that's the brown box special right there.
Oh man, if you're not gonna laugh about it, sometimes you might cry. So,
Yeah,
so
that's the thing, man. That's the
this is
thing.
this is a form of therapy for people that have either experienced somebody getting experience being fired in a very unique way, or they have, for whatever reason, seen somebody be fired in a very unique way. So we're gonna share that brown box special story as we coming to a close. But we do have some comments here. Building the right relationships. That's right, building the right relationships and having a mentor. So
Yo, that's
networking,
huge.
yeah,
Huge.
networking can help you grow in exposure. Having a mentor that's going where you've been, that could be a place of exposure for sure. So really good points, very very good points.
Yeah,
And
multiple, multiple.
Yeah, yeah. And so feel free to, and I'm gonna put up again here. If you want to go ahead, click on the link that's in the, if you want to call in, go ahead and click on the link. We may not have enough time for today, but we know what we're gonna work something out in the future for sure. Expand the
Yeah.
time a little bit, give you guys a chance to call in as we continue to grow this thing out. Right, we're gonna continue to grow this thing out. But
Yeah, man. This the what you mean? Yeah, that's for sure. We're gonna definitely continue to grow it out, man. That's the
yeah,
biggest tech talk show in the morning, man. What you mean, man? We're gonna grow this thing
that's right.
huge.
That's right.
It's
Now you
already the number one morning show, talk show in the world right now. Like, it's crazy.
Ahora, right now. If you agree with that, go ahead and like, comment, and share with others. Subscribe to the channels, because sooner or later you're gonna see something. I'm not gonna reveal it, but if you subscribe to our channels, you'll be able to be privy to it when the time comes. But with that being said, I do have a brown box special story here for y'all. So we're laughing at this one. I'm gonna read this to y'all. On her first morning, And this is brought to you by thank you BuzzFeed for this particular story. On her first morning, she wrote an email to her manager about how grateful she was to be with the company, how she looked forward to working for us, etc., etc. She also wrote an email to her friend about how she got a cushy gig and would scam them for as much training as possible for the first couple of months and then leave. Apart from the general lack of wisdom of saying this on the company email system when writing such a contradictory emails, it's vitally important to put the right address on the right email. She walked out the door after 2.5 hours. So
bro.
basically, she sent the email to the wrong person, to somebody in the company, saying that, oh man, I'm gonna basically squeeze them for what they're worth, get this cushy job. And in 2.5 hours, she was brown box
Just
special.
got the job. Just got it.
Just got the job.
Yo, that don't even make sense, man. That don't even make sense.
Huh?
What? Why
That was
you
so
own the
funny.
company? I don't know. I never understood that part either.
You didn't
Ever.
text you. You don't got your friends number. You can't text your friend. You gotta.
Look, you done got that kicked up already. You done got that kicked up
Oh,
that you doing it from the hey, I got your number on my phone, but I'm gonna send you an email from the company email, let you know I really did get this job. You
oh
see the
man.
signature, you see the signature at the bottom,
Yeah.
you see the title.
Ooh, that's
That don't
funny.
make sense, man. But that's I mean that goes to
Uh,
show like sometimes we're not thinking like how
mm-mm.
what were you thinking about that you're gonna
Like,
send something from the company's email. I don't know why people do that in general. On like people do a bunch of different things at work on the company's stuff. That
computer.
is like, bro, you're a goofy. Like you're just they are literally. I don't even know if this is how it works, but in my mind, that's how it works. They're literally copying and pasting into a spreadsheet all the times and all the evidence on your butt. Uh,
Yeah.
I don't know. You just can't do it, man.
Oh
It's
man.
ridiculous.
Let me ask y'all in the comment section. Do you guys have a brown box special story that you want us to share? Go ahead and hit us up on LinkedIn. If you have our LinkedIn, go ahead and hit us directly. But you could, if you got time, you could call in as well. If you got a crazy story of somebody that you know that got fired or something that happened, go ahead and hit us up. You could call into the show. We got a few more minutes before we have to split. But if you have the link, go ahead and click the link there. You could call into the show. Your face will not be seen. Just a reminder, your face will not be seen, but we'll be able to hear you. The audience will be able to hear you, and we can respond. And man, it's just gonna be a good conversation. It's gonna be a
That's
good
hilarious.
conversation for sure. Yeah, so let's definitely talk about it. But yeah, that story when I saw that, I'm like, you know what? As funny as that was, that could have probably happened to that probably has happened to so many people. Like the fact
Oh,
that
easily.
like he sent not even send the wrong email and then something that is literally like oh I'm gonna scam them for all the trading and then leave and then dip. That is funny. That is funny. Well, I got brother Scott. Oh here. Let me see if I can pull up your mic. Hold on one second. Scott, are you there? All right. I lost it, but let me try this here. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna shift gears. All right, Scott, can you speak?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Trey, you there
Okay.
too?
Yep.
All
Okay.
right, cool. Go ahead. Go ahead, Scott. What are you saying?
My quick story before I walk in here. I was at with my old job. So there was a girl who they had some issues with, and they finally got enough stuff on her to let her go. They let her
Mm.
work her whole shift at a satellite office. And when she came back, they met her at the door, my brother, with a copy paper box that they had graciously pulled all her stuff into and gave it to her and said, "Thank you for working your shift. Have a good day, madam."
What did she do though? What did she do?
She was basically stealing time. She was, I'm saying,
Oh,
Ah,
clocking more
ah.
hours than what she was working. And when the accountant got a hold of it, was like, "Well, hold on now. These numbers don't seem so legit now. I know what they scheduled hours are. This is a lot of overtime for somebody who's just a regular worker."
oh,
They let it slide for a little bit, and I guess they finally got enough of it. Yeah, it was time to go. But yeah, I remember coming in and was like, what's going on? Why everybody? What's up with the paper boxes? Because they had all the paper and like it just got delivered, so they had all
Oh
of it
yeah,
in the office. So they took all the copy paper out of one box, a full box of copy paper, bro. Took all the
Oh
copy
man.
paper out and then used that box and pack all her stuff up. And they met her at the front door when she came in. Like they saw her pull into the parking lot. They met her at the door with her box. I said, man,
bro.
these fools is cold blooded.
Oh, that's harsh.
Yeah,
Oh,
especially
that's
working your whole shift.
Yeah, bro.
Let me work this whole shift. Let me
Yeah,
get that up out of. She done
right,
stole all the rest of the time.
right. Like, yeah, we're gonna let you go ahead and work at half a day. Go ahead and get that morning clinic out the way. But yeah, we don't need you for the rest of the afternoon. You have a good day, madam.
Oh man, Scott, thank you so much for sharing that story. That is hilarious. That is hilarious. Man, I'm
Yeah.
gonna go to the comment section real quickly here. But what you gonna say, Trey?
No, that story, it reminded me, man. Yeah, look, real quick. Pigs get fed, hogs get slaughtered.
Ooh.
She was being a hog, man. She was a hog. They were
Pigs, yes.
okay with a few hours. Okay, yeah, we know a few hours. Oh man, I got them for 2 extra hours this week. I'm about to get them for 6. I
Oof.
got them for 6. I'm getting 10 extra hours. Hogs get slaughtered, man.
Oh man, Game Soda. I said exactly. And then Todd said, "Forget Good Morning America." I'm going to the comment section right now because we got some people that responded. Oh man, what up, Grape Soda? By the way, what up, what up, girl?
Grape soda, all right. What's happening?
He's like, oop.
Good people right there.
Oh, Darcel said he had to do it himself. He said, I personally had to fire someone for stealing time. Not a fun process. Oof.
I
I can
believe it.
only
I
imagine.
believe it.
That was a good story, man. Because here's the thing: we talked about the other story being kind of relatable, but how relatable is stealing time? Like
Yeah.
that is something that people they like. I'm gonna clock in a little early and take my nap.
Or exactly. Or the people, like if you actually had to go in the office, you calling people at the man. I used to sit by somebody.
Clock
They
you
would
in.
call them. No, yeah, they would call like somebody that I sit by. Hey, can you clock me in real quick? It's like, bro, you're not even close.
Not
I
even
don't
like
know.
you're not
I'm
like
not losing my job for you. I'm sorry, I don't know you.
Yeah, man. It's real. It's real in these streets.
Yeah,
Oh man.
that's a big one. That's a big one for sure. But I mean, I don't know. It's for a long time. You got
Yeah.
to think far. You got to think farther ahead, right? Like, one of these days you might want to be a boss of something or own something, or be an entrepreneur, and you might have to hire some people. Now,
Yeah.
if it is, look, it's gonna come back. So you
Mm,
just can't, like, I don't know. That always keeps me from doing a few things, right? Like, it's got to come back. Like,
yeah.
so I don't need somebody stealing time from me. I want good stuff happening. So, but yeah,
Yeah, man.
that's tough.
Yeah, man. Thank you so much for calling in, Scott. I definitely appreciate you because I know you're commuting, you're on the way to work. So I definitely appreciate you for taking the time. But go ahead if you want to go ahead and what we're going to do is basically feel free to put it in the comment section if you have a brown box special story, or you can hit us up on LinkedIn. You can hit us up on LinkedIn, and the one that has the best brown box special that we can find will definitely be featured for the show.
Yeah,
So if you
just send it. I think you can send a voice note. Just send it as a voice note so we can hear it, and then hopefully we'll be able to play it. But yeah,
yeah, whichever
hilarious.
you like. Yeah, if you want to send it as a voice note, if you want to send it as a uh send it as what you call it, like a
Text.
message. You can definitely do it. Either way is fine for us. But thank you so much, y'all, for rocking with us and tuning with us, man. We appreciate you as
Uh,
always.
right
And
now, Tyler.
mm,
Oh, hold on. Right now, Tyler, we doing right now. It's every Monday, man. Every Monday, the biggest tech morning show in the world. It goes on every Monday right now.
7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 6 a.m. Central. And listen, we're slowly but methodically building this thing out. If you want to see more, we're gonna have little milestones that we're gonna talk about, and we're gonna if we pass these milestones, then you probably gonna see us on another day as well. On top of that, appreciate you guys. Thank you again, Scott. Appreciate you. He's like, no problem, bro. Thank you so much for that. And then Mitch
Appreciate
said,
you.
good talk. Thank you so much. All right, bet. Tyler's like, let's do this. Tyler, like, let's do
For
this.
sure.
Come on now. And Trey, we'll talk about that for sure. How we're gonna make that, how we're gonna lay that out. But we definitely want to.
It's just logistics. Once we get these logistics down, right? Adding something new to the schedule, you always gotta it's a little shaky up front. But once we get the logistics down, smooth sailing, baby. Rocket ship.
There.
Take off.
Man. Take off. I mean, hey, we're at time. I think it'd be a good thing to rock out with that countdown again. I think they like the music, right? Let's do the music one. Let's run one more time.
Let's run it.
All right, thank y'all. We hope to see you again on the other side. Take care, family. Take care, family. Have a good one.